You know, selling your home can cost you a lot more money than you might realize. So before you list, it's important that you're aware of all of the hidden expenses that can seriously eat away at your profits. Now, as a seasoned realtor, I've heard stories upon stories, sometimes even about the savviest of sellers getting blindsided by some of these unexpected costs. So if you want to avoid losing tens of thousands of dollars more than you might have planned, stay with me as I reveal the hidden costs that can come up when selling your home. So let's dive in and get you fully prepared to maximize your sale and avoid those costly surprises. First up is real estate agent commissions. Now, as you know, real estate agents, they charge a commission to list and sell your home. And that fee is based on the selling price of your home, which when paid out is split between the listing agent's brokerage and the buyer's agent's brokerage. Now, this fee can vary from province to province and from individual agent to individual agent. But for example, in the Vancouver area, the listing agent will normally charge 7% on the first $100,000 and 3% on the balance. And it's important to be aware that commission fees can vary from one realtor to the next, and it is based on the specific business model that they have and the services that they're going to provide you. However, 7 and 3 is what you're going to see a lot of sellers pay to list and sell their home. But what exactly does 7% on the first 100,000 and 3% on the balance mean to you, the seller? Well, to ensure that you're not up for an unexpected surprise, let's go ahead and break it down with a quick example. Let's imagine that you sell your home for, say, $600,000. Now, in this case, you would pay $7,000 on the first $100,000 of the sale price and $15,000 on the remaining $400,000 for a total of $22,000. And as a side note, and not that it really matters to you, but just so you're aware, the full amount of $22,000 does not go directly into your listing agent's pocket. Approximately half of it is going to go to the buyer's brokerage, and then the remainder goes to the listing agent's brokerage. Then each of the brokerages takes their split and pays the balance to their respective agents. Again, it's important to note that the commission fee you pay as a seller will be dependent upon the agent that you choose and the province in which you are selling your home. In Toronto, for example, sellers will commonly, but not always, pay their agent a flat 5% commission fee. And again, this will vary based on the individual agent's business model and the services that they've offered. But for the purpose of this example, if your home were to sell for $600,000, the total commission you would pay your listing agent would be $30,000. By the way, if you are new to this channel, my name's Glen Hopkins, and on this channel, I make videos just like this, all about real estate to help people just like you make wise real estate related decisions. So if that's something you're interested in, please go ahead, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on my upcoming videos. Also, if you're getting any value from this video, please do me a quick favor, hit that like button. It would really help me out. All right, next up is legal fees. You know, you're going to need to hire a lawyer or a notary to handle the legal aspects of the sale, including reviewing the purchase agreement, preparing legal documents, handling the discharge of your mortgage, taking care of the transfer of the funds, and ensuring a clear transfer of title. Now, legal fees are generally going to range from $500 to $2,000. And by the way, I'm curious, who do you think is the least expensive option, a lawyer or a notary? It's been my experience that lots of clients believe that notaries are cheaper to use. However, I found that often the opposite turns out to be the case. Oftentimes, notaries are more expensive. So just be aware of that. Make sure that you call around, do your homework, and interview both lawyers and notaries to figure out who the best option is going to be for you. Now, aside from the cost though, in the comments below, let me know who do you think personally is the better option to use, a lawyer or a notary? The next often unexpected hidden expense is the mortgage discharge fee. Now, if you currently have a mortgage on your property, you are more than likely going to have to pay a penalty for paying it off early. And that penalty can either be a few months worth of interest, or you could be charged what's called an interest rate differential, an IRD fee. If you're not familiar with what that is, an interest rate differential, or a IRD fee, is basically calculated on the amount figured out by looking at the difference between the interest rate on your existing mortgage and the current rate the lender would charge you on a new mortgage of the same type and term. Also, your lender may charge you a fee to discharge the mortgage, meaning once your loan is paid off in full, the lender will remove their legal claim, or aka a lien on your property. And this often unexpected fee can cost you an additional $200 to $500. All right, now the next often unexpected expense is property repairs and staging. Does your property have any necessary repairs or maintenance that needs to be dealt with in order to make the property more marketable? If the answer is yes, then those things can add up. Now, one of the most common things you're going to need to do when you list your home is some painting. Now, most homes are going to have little holes, nicks, and scratches and what have you that you're going to need to touch up and paint. At the very least, just that minor stuff alone can cost you around $500. However, if you need to paint the entire house, the interior alone could cost you as much as $5,000. And if you're in a detached home and you need to paint the exterior, depending on its size, it could cost you well over $10,000 to paint the exterior. And please don't forget the front door. First impressions matter a lot, so make sure that the front door looks great, the handle isn't loose, and the doorbell is working properly. By the way, did you know that the color that you paint your front door actually matters? They've tested this and they found that there's a specific color that when you paint your front door that color, it can actually increase the sale price of your home. Do you have any idea what it is? If you do, if you think you know what it is, go ahead and put it in the comments below. Now, some other maintenance on your home, getting it ready, is cleaning up the garden. Curb appeal is going to be really important. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to professionally deep clean your house, steam clean the carpets. You might need to even rent a storage locker for those extra items when you're decluttering your space. So there's all sorts of things that you're going to need to take care of and look at. And let's not forget about staging. Studies have proven that professional staging can help sell your home faster and at a higher price. So it's something that you definitely want to consider doing. But it is not cheap. Costs can range anywhere from $1,000 to even $5,000 or more, depending on the extent of the staging that you do. Now, that said, it's important that you think with a business mind here and look at what's called your return on investment. If you invest $5,000 in staging, but you make $10,000 or even $20,000 more on the sale of your home, well, then it is well worth it. Now, even if you choose not to stage your home for some reason, perhaps you've got an overly stylish home with great furniture and placement, that's totally fine. Still though, you're more than likely going to want to spruce it up at least a little. More often than not, I find clients, even with the nicest home decor, can make it look that much better by simply adding new bedspreads, throw pillows, and towels. And a quick tip here, I want you to think hotels. When you walk into a higher end hotel room, it almost always has clean, bright white sheets and towels. And that's because white, well, it symbolizes clean. And guess what? Home buyers like a nice, clean home. So white sheets and towels are something that I highly recommend that you invest in. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is, actually moving. You're going to have moving expenses. These will include things like hiring a truck, hiring movers, packing supplies, and transportation costs. You might also need to even rent a storage space, depending on the time in which you complete on the sale of your home and when you intend to take possession of your new place. If there's a gap, you're going to need a place to store your things, and that's usually a rental storage unit. Now, the actual cost for movers can vary widely based on the distance that you're moving and the amount of belongings that you have. We're talking anywhere from a couple of $1,000s if you're moving within the same town to literally tens of thousands of dollars if you're moving to the other side of the country. So I recommend that you speak with your realtor. Most realtors are going to have some recommended references for moving companies that are good. Some are definitely better than others, and some are cheaper than others as well. But whatever you do, make sure you get one that is bonded. Years ago, before I was actually a realtor, we had friends of the family who sold their house. They hired a moving company who came, they collected all of their belongings, packed the truck, and they shipped it across the country. Now, these friends of ours, when they got to the other side of the country to their new home, they were waiting for the furniture to arrive, the truck to arrive. Guess what? That truck never arrived. It completely disappeared with all of their belongings. So it is very, very important that you hire a reputable company who has insurance, because the last thing you want to do is get yourself in that kind of situation. Okay, so the next one up is capital gains tax. And if you're selling your home, if it's your primary residence, the main place in which you live, you don't need to worry about capital gains tax. You're completely exempt, which means you get to keep all of the profit from the sale without paying any tax. However, if you're selling an investment property or a secondary residence, capital gains tax is applicable on the profit from your sale. The gain is added to your income and taxed at a marginal rate. So make sure you speak with your accountant to understand what kind of tax implications you might be faced with, because the tax man is always there lurking in the shadows. On another note, let's not forget about those smaller miscellaneous expenses that will creep in when you're selling your home. For example, you're more than likely going to be dealing with a bank, which typically means bank fees for things like wire transfers or other banking services that are going to be related to the sale of your property. And of course, there's all those utility hookup fees that you're going to incur when you're transferring the utilities over to the new owner and over to your new home. So as you can see, when selling real estate anywhere in Canada, it's really important that you budget for those various costs to avoid any surprises. Therefore, what I would recommend that you do is ask either your realtor or your broker for something called a net sheet. A net sheet is a simple document that you can use to help you determine what your net proceeds will be from the sale of your home after all of the expenses are dealt with. Now, if you're in the Fraser Valley, namely Surrey, White Rock, or the Langley area, and you'd like me to help you with the sale of your home, go ahead, click on the link in the description box below and schedule a call with me. And if you live elsewhere in Canada, don't worry, I've got you covered. I can connect you with a fantastic agent in your area. Simply click on the agent referral link in the description box below, and I can introduce you to a few fantastic agents. Also, before you leave, make sure that you watch some of the other videos popping up right now that will help guide you through the process of listing and selling your home. After all, the more knowledge you have, the more empowered you will be to make confident decisions that you won't regret.